All right, welcome everybody to another episode of Popcorn and Possibilities, another pop inside. So we got an interview today with a special guest. I'm going to try this a little differently because I always don't want people talking over each other here. So first, Steph, how are we doing? Back at it today?
We are back at it. We're feeling great, Brian. Thanks for asking. How about you? How's the energy today?
It's getting there. It's a little quiet, but we'll pick it up. So we got to pick it up for guests here.
Yes.
We're on the clock. So Amanda Rowinski, how are you doing today? How's it going?
We're here in the dark, right? I feel like, when you're like the head that's glowing and, we're here late at night, we're doing the interview.
Yeah.
It's exciting. I used to host a podcast, so this is like memory lane for me.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
All right.
No, I'm excited to be here. Thanks for asking me on.
Yeah, of course.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah. So the initial question is always going to be when, people are listening, like, who are you? So what would you say? Somebody asking you today, who is Amanda Rowinski?
Well, the short answer is right now just a millennial mom. It's just really what I feel like. Is just a millennial mom. Like the millennial part I think is important because I look to my left and right sometimes and these kids are young.
Yeah, yes.
That's how I feel. I'm like, when was I not a part of that crowd? So I really do feel that younger crowd kind of like really pushing in and making their way, and not in a bad way all the time. They're doing some good things, but I definitely feel like a millennial. And I'm currently a stay-at-home mom. So like every time I tell someone like the age of my kids, like 3 and 1, they're like, oh, you're in the trenches. I'm like, I thought newborn was supposed to be the trenches.
Right.
No. Yeah. 2 toddlers is trenches. And how people do like 3 or 4 like
I know.
So millennial mom is definitely the thing that's like what I am. Mm-hmm. But when I think like the whole picture type of thing, I'm a modern day memory keeper is kind of like just been the thing that I've always done. Mm-hmm. So that definitely defines me and kind of where I'm at, like creative wise of like, what could I do with that?
Right.
That's kind of always been there and always what I've wondered, but whatever materialized from that or not, right?
Yeah.
Is kind of where we're at. Yeah. I'm a recovering people pleaser, which also is like a big thing going on right now. Yeah. Still in recovery, but that's a tough one.
It's a tough one for sure. For sure. And I think it's like a different kind of trenches. I think the newborn is its own set, and then the three-nagers are a whole other sort of angle.
My son will be 3 in a few days, and he's already doing the Noah, Mama. like where did that come from?
Right.
Yeah, go. I'm like 3-nager. There it is.
Oh yeah. There. Oh yeah.
Yeah. So but they're like good kids, but it's just overall tough. I wanted to be a mom since I was 4 years old, and I'm like, if I wanted it this bad, and I'm having a hard time, and like they were both planned, like I was as ready as I was gonna be, and it is hard, man.
Yeah.
It is tough.
I do think about that sometimes because like I'm one of 4 and we grew up in a 2-bedroom apartment. Like I'm like, how did my mom do it? Like I don't know.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I think about that all the time. And I think millennial has something to do with it because we're allowed to say it's hard, maybe.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, definitely.
True.
Because I feel like they just powered through and they didn't even know really how to say like, I can't do that. But then again, too, like my mom reminds me all the time. She goes, I was a stay-at-home mom and that was like okay, and we could do it with just dad's self. So like, maybe it was like they knew that was their job kind of thing.
Yeah.
That's a really interesting perspective. That's a really good point.
Yeah. My dad too would be like, oh, like I thought like going to work full time was like that was my designated job. Like you're right, like they just
didn't know to ask for anything else.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm a stay-at-home mom, but I like to change it to I'm the CEO of this household. Like, that sounds better.
There you go.
That
I
sounds
love
a
that.
lot. Yeah, because I manage things and without me, and they look around and go, what is supposed to go happen here? All three of them sometimes. But anyway.
I love that you said you're a modern day memory maker. Like, that's my new favorite title for anything that has ever existed. Amanda, tell us, like, define that for us. What does that mean to you, for you? And how does that tie into what, you talked about you wanted to be a mom since you were 4. Like, early on in life, were you always like a picture taker, a creator?
Yeah, it's a great question. So I don't know where it kind of emerged from. I think it was always there. It's now how I kind of define like my creativity and my art. It's what I do the most. Cause it's like I was thinking a lot about it because I've always been the picture taker, you're right. And I've always been the like, hey, look at like the recorder, I guess. Like anytime someone's passed away, I'm like, I'll do the pictures and do the board and do that, like it's always just been my thing. I think back now, like I wish I've had such a close relationship with like my grandmothers that I always wish they kind of did it. Like I was always like wanting to pry into their life and know more about them. So like I think weirdly intrinsically there's like a thing that's like I want to leave this for my kids, or like I want my kids to know me moving on. Like, but I felt that even 15 years ago before kids weren't even on the radar, kind of thing. It's always been something that I'm like, I want to leave a mark maybe a little bit.
Yeah.
I love that.
But it's just like what my art is, I guess. It's what I.
So is it more like photos and stuff like that rather than like a drawing, painting type of thing, or is it kind of both, or?
Right. Well, what happened was like I've always loved art and English was like my 2 favorite things, and then all my jobs growing up were teach based. Like my first job was a YMCA gym swim instructor. So like the little kids and like teaching how to swim. And I was always good with kids. So, and all my family was teachers. Like I had an assistant principal aunt. She's like, any job, anywhere you want, I'll get you, like, so everyone was always pushing me to do that because I was good at it and like kind of a natural. And it's always what I did. Then from YMCA, I did camp counseling and babysitting. And so it's like all lined up on paper that this girl's going to be a great teacher. And everyone kept pushing me to do it. And I always knew I could. So it was like, that was always there.
Okay.
And then I went to college, which I thought was a complete sham. I went to like,
I mean, it sort of is, but yeah.
Yeah,
I went to like, between my whole career, like 3 different colleges, and each one, like I could have done probably better if I just went straight to the job and learned. Like, of course, it's just a business. We know this.
I agree with that, yeah.
But you had to go to college. So like when I first went to college and I'm looking around, like, where's the direction? Like I felt like everything up until then, school was very like, they gave you a direction. Like you had to take these courses and then, pick 1 or 2 here, but like you knew what to do. When I walked on that college campus, no one was telling me like, take these or don't take these.
Yeah.
So I was like, is it really up to me? Like,
right.
I was like, so that was a problem right off the bat that I never really had like autonomy to do this. So I was always looking for the authority. And then when it came time to choose, education was right there. And I'm like, everyone wants you to do this. Like you should, but I chose like film and creative writing. My first go, like in undergrad, I because it was like sort of a rebellion, but also like, I was like, I could always do teaching. Like I want to try something creative. Like it was always stuff I was interested in. So when I did it, again, like after graduating with it, what was going to come of it? Like no one pointed me in a direction. I didn't really know how to look for jobs. What are you, 18, 21?
Yeah, like 21, yeah.
I was a baby. I was a really...
I mean, nobody knows truly at that age.
Right.
I think they do,
I was completely clueless. And like my parents, my dad went to college, but like no insight.
Yeah.
What I could do. Like he was like, he like went to college, sold rings, haircut for like a few months, and then got the job that he had forever as a salesman. Like,
right,
whatever. So here I am with this creative like thing. So what do? So I got like an internship at a magazine that lasted a few months in the city.
Was that doing writing or was that doing pictures?
It was getting coffee.
Okay.
You know, like it was getting coffee surrounded by people making a magazine, but I never saw what that looked like, or it was, it was very short lived. So I was just like aimlessly floating. And then I waitress just to make some money, still living at home. Like, what do you do? And after like a year and a half of waitressing, I'm like, maybe I'll go back to teaching. Like, it really was like no direction. So I don't know if you guys had that same experience, but like, I'm like, I want to be creative, but I don't know how to do this.
Yeah.
I think that is a tough part, is the creative aspect of it.
Yeah,
like when
definitely.
you are a creator and like you just like love to soak into that, like even the creative writing, like I took creative writing in
So did I.
college and it's a fun course. I had a good time. I don't know whatever happened with my poems, but that's a different story. But yeah, like you just like you're like it's not like you're like, oh, now you're a designated poet, like good luck.
Right.
Like there's no like designated jobs really, and like
It kind of makes me mad thinking back, because you could teach creative writing all you want, but then again, like certain tips and techniques you could pick up, but like you're as good as you're going to be good. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I
Right.
feel like if you have talent or you can pull and observe and pull, then that's already it. You like, what are you really teaching me? What would have been helpful was like resume, or these are options, or how to find an agent, or like something like, why doesn't
yeah.
college do that?
Yeah. No, I mean that's like the technical schools. Like if you learn plumbing, they find jobs that places that
Right.
need plumbers.
Right.
Like so
Right.
that makes sense. Like
Right.
I'm trying to be a
Right.
writer, but yeah.
Yeah, and I didn't even know if it was writing. I've always liked writing,
Mm-hmm.
but and this was also like 2008, where like I probably was like one of the first top 10 people on Facebook. Like, remember when Facebook was only like for
Yeah.
college
Yes.
kids?
Yeah.
Yes.
So like I remember like the integration of Facebook, and like just like social media wasn't a thing either, really. So like you couldn't
Right.
even go on social media and see like what writers were doing or what creatives were doing. It was such the dawn of it back then. Like, I'm aging myself now, but it really was like the dawn of it. And I probably, even if it wasn't, I wouldn't know how to use it then. But I remember being on Facebook and starting posting pictures of like my life.
Okay.
And all of a sudden, like feeling the spark of like, oh, I like to share pictures and I like to record my life and I can make albums on this thing and people can see it. And there was an element of like sharing it that meant something. I don't know
Yeah.
what, but I
Right.
remember feeling like, oh, it means something that I shared it. So then from there, I waitressed, and then I went back to Queens, a different college, to do education, and I subbed and did it. So I was already on this track to teach. And right when I was like about to get into the classroom, I went to Barnes and Noble, and I remember picking up this very magazine. It's called Artful Blogging.
Mm-hmm.
I just
Interesting.
had it. It's like 2010. So it was around 2010. It was like right before I was going to be thrust into classroom teaching, and I found it, and I just like flipped the pages, and like, I don't know if this ever happened to you too, but like something like, it was such a pivotal moment of like, they have like just a bunch of articles of women that started blogs and share their art, and it was like excerpts of blogs, and something in me was just like,
That's
the
it.
world.
Yeah.
Like it just let me see that there were other, because a lot of my friends weren't creative, like doing stuff with like ripping paper and like it was a weird
Yeah.
like hobbit hobby. Like,
Right. It's almost hobbit hobby is a phenomenal term, because it's something that, like, if you have a group of people who are really into it, then you've got those people who you can relate to. But otherwise, if you're not surrounded by them, you kind of like silo yourself into
Yeah.
this niche or into this hobby. I totally know where you were going, or at least I think I do.
I feel like our generation, I don't know if it was just like the movies we grew up on, but I think it's like we all think we can have this like pivotal moment where it's like, oh, now I figured it out. Because like as a kid, all I remember is my dad saying like, you'll figure it out. You'll figure it out. And my mom being like, oh yeah, you'll just figure it out. And it's like,
yeah.
is that just meaning like you'll just settle on a job like on a 9 to 5? Like
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of that, and it's tough when you start to get older and older and you're like, okay, maybe there isn't just some like lottery where I find like what I want to do. And I think that's kind of where our generation is now, where we're realizing that and like going like, I don't want to be I don't want my life to be defined by just raising my kids, or just defined as like I'm working this job and that's like enough for me.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, when I came across the magazine and I like realized that that could be it, like it wasn't even, I don't think they're jobs. It was just like I saw other women like being creative and sharing in a way that I knew that I wanted to do that kind of. And
Yeah.
then that led me to finding out like cuz I was already memory keeping in my own way.
Right.
And then I just found that on like by researching the blogs and looking at the art and all that, and then I was opened up to like the memory keeping or like
Mm.
scrap. I call it memory keeping because scrapbooking to me is very like the old
Okay.
school thing that you've
Yeah,
Okay.
seen.
sure, sure.
So like there's like the memory key, like there's so many different things under that umbrella. It doesn't have to be just that like grandma paper and like
Right.
that.
Right.
Right.
Even though that's fun too. But like
Right.
I just so yeah, so I tapped into that community online. That's like kind of when it was happening, like
Yeah,
2010, where
yeah.
like people were making these groups and these women were building these businesses of like designing product and like being the faces of like the product, and it was a job. So
Yeah.
then I started researching. So now here I am as a teacher,
Right.
and my assignment, because this is what I learned as a teacher too, like I could do that job all day, but it really does matter where you're placed and what your assignment is. So
Mm.
like every job as a teacher is not created equal, because you could be in a really shitty assignment one year, a really great assignment, and like it would. I just remember like not being. I wanted to do this teaching thing. I said, "Oh yeah, I couldn't do anything else, and this is what I wanted." And then I
Mm.
got in the classroom, and I was good at it. It just like I couldn't picture myself still doing it.
For
So
30
that
years.
so and then right. So then I tapped into this like world, and I was like, "That's what I want to try to do." It was like, I was thinking about your podcast, how it's called Popcorn and Possibilities, and
Yeah.
I love the word possibilities, and in a lot of ways in my life, like I've been a possibility junkie a little
Mm.
Yeah.
bit. Like
Yeah.
once I felt the possibility of something, I'm like, I can't let it go. Like, I need to see where that goes.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of what happened, where I taught, and then the seed was planted of like, could I do that other thing in a niche that I loved, and I could see it. I could see myself doing what I saw these women doing. But then the more I researched, it was really like graphic design. They designed the product, and then,
Okay.
Sure.
for the big companies, and then were the face of it and stuff like that. I said, Mom, maybe I'll go into graphic design. And she went literally in her like Italian mom way, like, what do you want to sit in front of a computer all day? Like that, like just like that. And she like crushed my dream. I was like, I
Oh.
guess not, Mom. Like,
Yeah.
So I never really thought about it after that
Mhm.
as an option. And then when I found these women and that's what they were doing, it kind of reappeared. Like I was onto something. That's the theme of my life. Like I'm
Yeah.
always onto something and then detour or onto something. So that's what happened. So the seed was planted for that, and I did like another year teaching, but I was again flipping through a magazine, and this like ad for a graphic design school popped up in
Oh.
the city. It was like a
Okay.
quickie program of like 6 months, and you'll have a portfolio or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's what I wanted to do. And
Mm.
I said, I'm gonna do that, and not teach and spend the next. So that's what I did. I kind of like went to the school, and it taught me the basics. I would hop on the bus every day, and I would take the bus and the train. And I just remember feeling like that's it. I love this. Yeah, like I just loved the school. I didn't know what was going to come of it. And then what happened was it was like September. It wasn't even 6 months. September to December,
Mm.
every day, 5 days a week.
Yeah.
And then I came out with a portfolio, and right away so that was December, then had Christmas and New Year's, and right away, January, I sent it in an email to all the scrapbooking companies I wanted to work for. I was just like, oh, here's what I do, and I love this, and I would send them like the layouts I made.
Do
And by
you
January
think
11th,
do you think it's the fact that you have the more freedom to do what you want, as opposed to like the students is more of like a structured, you have to ultimately still follow like what the principal or what they want over, like you have some freedom but not a whole lot, and so do you think it's something to do with that, or
yeah, I was very wet behind the ears when I started teaching, and there at the time there was no curriculum. Like I actually say that, and there was no books for me to use. they just, at the time, whoever was in charge, principal, the higher up of her, the higher up of her, just was like, they don't need workbooks because then the teachers will be lazy. And I just was like making up like I was waking up 2 a.m. to have homework for the day every day. It was just a very unsustainable lifestyle.
Right.
I also like wanted to do a good job and do right by the kids. If I was that kind of teacher that was like, do what you want, you know, so like I also cared too much, I think.
Okay.
For the position, but the kids were never the problem. I love kids and love teaching the kids, and it really was just like structurally what the job was and was missing. But now, like where I am now thinking about teaching, because I could definitely
always go back if you
the end of the story is like I might have to go back, right? If like right now I'm home raising the kids, but when they go to school and it's time for mom to go back to work, what is that work going to be?
Right.
So like that's really where my head is at now, because it could definitely be teaching. Not that that's easy to just waltz in and say I'm a teacher, give me a job. Like it is hard now and competitive, and all these young 21-year-olds out of college really want the position. So you know what I mean? So like it's still going to be hard and competitive, but I could go back to that. And maybe that's the end of the story.
No, I mean, it sounds like you're still looking to figure it out, and there's nothing wrong with that. I think there's always a pressure when you want to figure something out, especially when you're creative. To anybody who had an option to try to go for it, I would say, like, go for it. You can always fall back to something. But I think you've been told your whole life you were good at this, and you followed that route. And that's basically the millennial route, was like, no, you're doing this. No, this job's not realistic. I got told I wanted to be like a sports agent. I was told, no, that's not realistic because they only give it to former athletes. I was like, I wanted to be a professional player. Like, no, you're not good enough. Like, every step of the way of something I wanted to do, the older generations are like, no, you can't do it. I mean, you look at things now, like even video games, for example, like I couldn't imagine 10 years ago that you could do it professionally and be a professional gamer, like, or a streamer. And like, this is possible now. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's cool to see.
Amanda, one of the things I love that you said was and again, Brian, it's the millennial experience, like you just said. We were brought up being told like what you could do and what you would be good at and what you should do because it's going to make you a lot of money or bring a lot of success or whatever. But it's about finding what you love to do. And that's what I've loved so much about hearing what brought you to where you are in your journey is you kind of earlier than maybe some of us did broke away from well, I could do this. I probably should do this, but would I love doing this? And Brian, you just talked about streaming, podcasting, music, art, photography, everything. I feel like a lot of people our age are all diving into these like side hustle situations because we were creatives growing up, but we pigeonholed ourselves into these jobs that would bring money or career growth or whatever it is. But now we're trying to take that step back and decide, do I love doing this? Like, do I want to do this for another 30 some years? I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, I think part of being a millennial, the problem is that none of this existed. So we were like, that's a job. That's been our reaction every 2 years. Like, we are so surprised that this is like life. But the Gen Z, every kid I teach, what do you want to be when you grow up? A YouTuber. Because they know it exists. They see it. They have the example. We've never had that. That's part of the problem is we're so surprised that these are options. And then like you said, Brian, you're like, if you have an option to go for it.
Yeah.
And now like every step of the way you're tweaking and changing what going for it means. That's kind of what it is too. So like now that I'm a mom, like the definition of how I would want to use it has also changed. Like it's been like it's been so after the graphic design and I had that portfolio, I pitched myself to these scrapbook companies and 10 days later one hired me. One hired me from working from home at the same teacher salary I was making.
Wow.
So I literally got 10 days in, like I took this jump. I said, I'm going to get it. Graphic design felt good. As I was there, I was looking around every day going, this is exactly where I should be. Like I've always been, and I say like, I'm a Scorpio and I don't believe in that, but every time I'm so intuitive that I'm like, Scorpios.
Yeah.
Right. I don't believe in it, but I'm always checking on it. And like, so I've always just followed this intuition of like, where am I supposed to be? Like, I'm always like scouting it out. So I got like the dream job right out the gate.
Yeah.
And, but if I tell you how hard it was, like to actually design product, it was the hardest.
Yeah.
Like, but then I ended up doing it. I made 2 paper lines with this guy that mentored me. He flew me out to you. They were based, scrapbooking comes from like Utah. I don't know if you know that, but like
Interesting.
that's
No,
the
I didn't.
origin.
Hey, Utah,
so
man.
he flew me out to Salt Lake City. It was crazy. I was like, how is this happening? Like a year ago, I was like teaching. So he flew me out to Salt Lake City and he showed me the home base of the thing. And like, so like I designed, and then quickly after that, they were like bought out and they didn't need my position, whatever. But like 2 weeks after that, I was hired by another company. It was just like happening. It was quote unquote happening, what I was wanting to happen. And this person that scooped me up didn't hire me as a designer. That's kind of what I was looking, because I designed 2 lines under my belt. But she wanted me as a social media coordinator, which I didn't even know what that was. I didn't know what that was.
Yeah.
But I had been blogging, I had been crafting, I had now these 2 design, like all this stuff that I was already doing just because I liked it, like you said.
Yeah.
And so she liked my voice. And theirs was like that creative writing piece that I knew. Right. That, like, so when she hired me on, it was a lot of, so that company was called Me and My Big Ideas. And for 15 years, she had sold stickers and paper and Michaels and all that stuff. And she was launching a new product. She was launching the Happy Planner. So I was on board to help her launch this product. Like, it was a crazy experience.
Right.
So fast forward, that lasted like 3 years. And that job was great. I was going to trade shows, talking to people, teaching classes, using the product in fun ways. Like, I love that job. But I thought my boss was really going to use me better. So like she kind of, so that's kind of where I am too. Like, ideally, you don't want a boss,
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just because like you don't know what their agenda is. You hope that they find value in you, but you don't know. And like, don't you always find like I'm kind of at the crossroads of like, teach me, but also trust me. Like, I find that
that's the part that lacks, is you could have the most talented person in the world, but like they still want the power to control how they want things, and that's the hard part. Best advice I was given about that was just like, you have to push through until you can work it enough to be, like you said, your own boss, and then you create how you want things done. I think online has made that also a hard reality, where like you only see this person's success, like you never see the 10 years that they were
Right.
getting coffee or just doing the shit jobs. So
grinding in the background before they made it. Like, even all these, like, these trade jobs, it's not like I'm making $200K the first year. Like, you have to literally get coffee for everybody. You got to get their tools. If you mess something up, you're in trouble. Like, it's all, if you really want something, you do have to put a certain amount of time. And sometimes, like, it doesn't work out, but that doesn't also mean that you're a failure. Find your level of success. You can't just be like, I'm going to make a song and I want to make 1 million. You got to be like, I want to make a song and make 2 new fans. Like, start with slow, realities until you can grow that. Right.
Yeah, I mean, and even now, like we were talking about how scrapbooking was like my hobbit hobby, and now I go on the internet and I see like hobbit hobby is a core, right?
Yeah,
like,
right.
Like now, so like I think that too is like, is that all? Like, we're talking about what we need to do to like have a creative job, but are we millennials again and not realizing like really what it like? I don't know. Every
It's
time
hard.
I turn around, I feel like there's a new way to be a creator, or the hoops you have to jump to create. I don't know. I'm just in like a more, go ahead.
It shifts. Like, so things are going to go into waves,
Yeah.
I think the core root is just being genuine and being consistent. Those are the 2 things that you can do, and it falls into place from there. Like, you can like pretend all you want, but then you're losing yourself. So in the end, are you even happy? Like, when we were talking about, Steph and I had talked about creating this podcast, like, that's what the possibility side was meant to be, is like, sometimes people don't always find the dream, or they're going through it. And I think this is a perfect example of how, like, you trying different things. You were pushed in one direction. You tried the graphic design. So there's like different that it doesn't always work out maybe how you want it, but that's life is like maybe that
Yeah.
didn't fall into place, but other things did, you know?
Right.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
Brian, what you said is true too. And it's just part of the experience is you have to be willing to accept that not everything is going to be an overnight success. Not everything is going to fall into place all at one time on the first go. You
Yeah.
have to be willing to accept like smaller victories and failures even and grow through them and learn from them. And I know for me, one of the hardest things to accept was maybe what life is not what I envisioned it would be.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's really tough. Maybe it's because of like what we were told and sold growing up. Like, if you dream it, that's your reality. And it's like, well,
Yeah.
no, not always. But I love what you said. Like, count the blessings that are there. Be appreciative of where the journey took you and what you ended up evolving into. Because at the end of the day, what you are and where you are is usually where you're meant to be, even if you didn't see it that way, you know, looking
Yeah.
back in the past.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think too, like alignment is a big part of it. Like that word came up for me a lot because like what you're meant to do isn't be in alignment. I feel like with yourself. Like
Yeah.
there was a time when I was working for the company and the Happy Planner, and like it was like the most fun job, and I was like, oh, I'm doing it, doing this creative job, whatever, that I felt so aligned. But like time passed and things changed and the product got bigger, and she really didn't need me from far away, remote, you know, doing what I was doing so well, whatever.
Right.
She replaced me and whatever. So it was what it was. And I remember like toward the end feeling like something was off, right?
Okay,
Like
yeah.
misaligned. And then like again, like trying to freelance and like build something from that experience, and I just kept getting more and more. I just remember feeling like more and more misaligned. So then what ended up happening was my aunt was like, all right, you know, you kind of need like a real job, or like if you want to try something else, try this school,
Yeah.
or I could give you a resume to the principal and see if she'll take you. And I had zero intentions of going back to teaching. I was like, no, like it didn't feel right the first time. And I went on this interview. I remember crying on the way to the interview because I remember I probably needed to take the job. And then crying on the way home because I did a good job on the interview. But I got this job, and it was exact. And for 5 years I worked there, and it was the best. It just aligned me back. Working back. It was far, the commute was far, but when I got there, the kids were great and my coworkers were great. I ended up making like my best friend at that job. Like everything started aligning again. So when I met Tom when I worked that job, and like we got married, I had my kid, like all working that job. So like again, I just feel like the universe has a way of aligning you. Like you just can't, constant gratitude. You know, I'm so grateful for everything I have, even though I'm always like, but more. But I'm always, you know.
But that's
like,
us.
yeah.
Like that's like how we are. Like as humans, like we always just like we want more and more.
Yeah.
Like the football player on the Eagles who had said like after he won the Super Bowl, like a week later, he was like, I thought the best feeling in the world would be like winning the championship, and I realized like it's not. It's the grind and the work that I did to get to that point that made me feel good. And so I think in a way you should, like, I applaud you for trying. Like I'll always applaud people for trying different things and going out of that box because of how we were raised. But also like you could have just always been like, what if, and never went to that school. And then who knows what that alignment would have looked like if you didn't go that route. So, and like there is a lot of pressure to like want to do things to make money, but like don't forget that if you're enjoying it, that's the point, is to enjoy it.
Yeah.
You know, when you lose that and you get sucked into like how can I make money on it, you stop having fun, and then like what is the point after that?
That's my biggest fear now, because I'm a different person and I don't want that dream anymore. I feel like I got close enough to that to know now it wouldn't make sense. But I like at the turn of this year, and my daughter turned 1, and I know I'm not having any more kids. It was like something kind of hit me where I was like, I'm going to be with them home for at least another like year or two, because until she's like, I can put her in something, right? I'm the
Right.
primary caretaker. So I really was like, it hit me where I was like, what do I want to do with this time? If they can be a little more independent,
Mm-hmm.
can I make something happen? But that kind of thing kind of hit me that way. And the first thing I thought was like, I could teach him, like in-person workshops was where my brain went. I was
Okay.
like, what if I taught like these events and taught people how to scrapbook or,
Yeah.
so that's kind of like the new version of it, where it's like, how could I do that? And then that took me to, well, is it more lucrative, or could I do it online in a space where, like, when my in-laws are here and I'm home, can I do,
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's kind of like molded and meshed into something
Okay.
maybe I can handle, but but like you said, but I am very nervous, and what I'm scared about is trying for it gonna take away what it gives me. You
Right.
know what I mean? Like, but I do find joy in like sharing it with others. I like to hype if I like, so
Of course.
so I
And
don't know.
listen, I think one of the greatest feelings is like when you create something and somebody's like, "That's awesome," or like,
Yeah.
"That's great." Like, it's a great feeling. So, I mean, I don't think it could take away. Like, I mean, you clearly want something more of it, and finding out is better than what if. I always shifted towards what if, and now I'm in this constant state of like, can I do it again, or like, am I done? Is it over? So you might as well see how it goes out, because you never know. You never know who you might meet out of doing it. You never know like what new thing you might find out of it. Like maybe you don't like doing it in person, but maybe you like doing it online, or maybe you like doing it online, or vice versa. So I always push towards try it, and then if it doesn't work, you never know where you might fall into.
Yeah.
I loved your episode with Jeannie. You interviewed her twice, or you just that one time?
It was just one time, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I love that episode. And her whole like keel metaphor, I haven't stopped
Yeah.
thinking about.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I think and then I had to look up what a keel was because I didn't know.
All right,
right?
thank
So
you. I didn't know either. So
I knew what she meant, but I was like, is it at the top of the ship? Is it at the bottom? And looking it up and seeing
Yeah.
that it's on the bottom,
yeah.
it really did help me, because like you said, like you feel like you live a lot in the what if state, but I feel like as creatives, and look at you, you're like doing this podcast, right? Like I'm so excited to be on a podcast. Like there's something to that. Like there's something tethering us. Like I always, this whole memory keeping thing with me, I've been doing it like now 15 years, crazy.
Yeah.
In some capacity. But even when I was teaching, I was back in that school, my last job with that school that I loved. And
Yeah.
it honestly, I thought I was going to go back to that school, but it's such a long commute that I knew I couldn't. Like I couldn't be that far away from my kids. So, but if that job was 2 minutes up the block, I probably would still be at that job.
Yeah.
But the whole keel thing is, while I was at that job for 5 years, not really putting myself out there creatively or whatever, there was still always this pull. Like I had no reason to share any of my memory keeping because I wasn't trying for anything. Now I was very happy being a
Right.
teacher at this new place,
Yeah.
and making my life around that. But there was always something tethering me to share it. Like I always wanted to let people know I was doing it.
Right.
Right.
I don't know what that means. Like, because I love bachata dancing, but there isn't something in me that like, that's a real hobby. Like when I have time for that again, I'll do that. But
Yeah.
it's not something pulling me like, tell everyone you've danced bachata. Like this is something so different. And I think that means something. Like, so I don't know, like if something's still, you could be doing 1,000 things that aren't it. But if you're still tethered to it in some way for some reason, and it's still steering you
Yeah. That
and
means it's
keeping you from
unfinished.
tipping over.
Right.
Yeah. And I think there has to be like long periods of hibernation on a thing. There
Yeah.
has to be.
Yeah.
Because then it'll be ready to, like, I feel a little bit like a little reemergence going on with me, but Who knows what that means? I don't know. But it looks different than I thought it would look. You know?
Yeah. I think the main thing is like to not overthink it and not always have to like put a decision on it right away.
Yeah.
I think that's like the biggest thing. Like,
Yeah.
you know, even when we were first talking about this podcast, we did what, Steph, like 6-8 episodes that and like after every episode we're like, was that good? I don't think that was good. We're not doing this one. And like we've said this a bunch of times, but like our first episode was like we had 40,000 questions listed, like, and we were like, we're gonna take an hour, we're gonna get through this.
We wrote out intro scripts. We were like, oh, this has got to be a solid 40 minutes, 55 minutes, 8 minutes and like 16 seconds.
Yeah.
And then we were just staring at each other.
That's so funny.
Every time I see 8 minutes, I'm like, fuck. All right, we cleared it. We're good.
We're good.
Everything
We're good.
after 8 is fine.
That's great. No, that's right. But I mean, but then that episode should have been 8 minutes. That's how I feel. You should have aired it and said like pilot. You know, I don't know. Yeah, like I like the don't overthink it because oh boy, it's like this. My brain can do some numbers. But like it's so easy to say, right? How do we shut it down? I think part of your practice has to be real ways to like shut it down.
Yeah,
like,
definitely.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a practice. I mean, for me, I've taken the last year and a half to really push into other things. Like, okay, like I've always wanted to read more books. I've never really challenged myself to do it. I'm going to shift into that. Steph has gotten me into like wanting to relearn Spanish. So I've been doing Duolingo every day. Like doing like little things to kind of challenge yourself and just other aspects will also break your mindset of like, I haven't done anything, because otherwise I'll be like, I didn't put out a song in a while. I haven't made a post in a while. I haven't done this in a while. And then you just go crazy. I think it's try when you have an idea, write it down when you're not like overthinking something, and then just put it away or designate like time for it. Like I'm going to give it a half hour every night to just kind of like scribble whatever on my mind. And then when you feel like you have enough to try something, then go for it.
And I mean, you talked, Brian, about authenticity. I feel like when you start to overthink and hypercorrect and be hypercritical of yourself, that's when you lose your authenticity, because you're so in your own head about like, but what are people going to say? And are people going to like this? Is this going to be received the way I want it to be? Mm-hmm. Amanda, it's like you said, just if it's 8 minutes, it's 8 minutes, right?
Yeah,
Let it rip. Let it be what it is and put it out there, because that's probably the most pure and authentic version of whatever it is that you were trying to do. And sometimes that's at the heart of what makes things and people successful. It's your keel, or it's what's tethering you. Like you said, it's obviously something that you're so passionate about. So let yourself be passionate about it and then see where it takes you.
Yeah, I've been gravitating toward like inspiration, like people who are inspirations to me lately are just those creators that feel like, here's what we're doing today. Woohoo! Like,
right.
I really, really want to channel that energy, because at the end of the day, it's not brain surgery, right? Like it's paper and it's fun. It should be fun. Like I used to teach and I used to tell the kids, like, we're going to play a game now. And they'd all like get excited. I go, why? And I'd write FUN on the board and go, why are we doing this? Fun! Because they would take it so seriously. Like they would be like, oh, we gotta win. And what if my thing is that? I go, just have fun. We're doing this for fun. Like I have to do the same thing to myself. Like
just be a little easier on yourself, and when you feel like the moment strikes, just go for it and see what happens. I'm gonna end this on some fun here of just saying what's one smell, song, snack, TV show that would that immediately transports you back to the 90s?
Ready?
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know what they want from me. It's like the moment.
I'm with you. I'm with you.
I know it's like 1994, I think, because I was in 4th grade, and that song. I mean, it's Puffy, right? So
Yeah,
you really promote it, but that song, I swear, like it really does. And I saw the song.
That's
great
a good one.
pick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then now Brian tosses the ball to me for our signature question. Amanda, give us your go-to movie recommendation or guilty pleasure. That it could be a show, movie, whatever that you want to share with our listeners.
Well, as a mom, I'm watching a lot of kids stuff. So it's going to be a kids movie, but is it? Is the real thing.
Okay.
So have you guys seen Toy Story 4?
I have.
Yes, I did see the fourth one.
Yeah.
It is a phenomenal piece of cinema. I just have to say that. Like, in my opinion, I mean, I laughed, I cried. I thought it was a perfect tie-in to the other three. But like, you know, I put it on for Travis, and he likes Toy Story and the characters or whatever, and like he's watching it, walking away. There's Forky walking away. I am glued to this thing, like. like I was so into it. I'm like, but this part, but Woody, but you know.
Yeah.
So, I mean, anyone that doesn't have kids, I'm like, have you seen Toy Story 4? It's really been like a thing this year.
Right.
So,
Well, the fifth
Toy Story
one's
4.
coming, so.
Yeah.
I know. I'm
Yeah.
very curious.
Yeah.
And Zootopia. Zootopia was a great movie
Zootopia
too.
is a great
Zootopia.
movie. Yeah.
Yeah.
For someone who's into like mysteries, I'm like, what really is going on?
Right.
Like, I really was into this. And yeah. So those are my two.
Okay. All right.
Very good picks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we thank you for coming on and sharing your journey with us.
Thanks for having me, guys.
And Amanda, let everyone know where they can find you and your memory, your memory keeping and your scrapbooking. Tell everyone where they can find you.
Well, I'm on Instagram at Amanda Rosamp, but I don't know if I'm going to change that to Amanda Rowinski, Amanda.Rowinski. It's been my handle for so long that right now that's just what it is. And if I change it, you follow me and you'll see it changed.
Yeah.
But I also started a Substack,
Okay.
seeing what goes on there. So that's Amanda Rowinski, Substack, whatever. My name.
Okay.
Just my
All
name.
right.
But yeah,
All
Awesome.
right. Yeah.
thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Well, keep your popcorn popping.
And your possibilities endless.
We'll see you next time.
Bye.